Welcome to trademrk Connection with Tommy. This video is on your Monday Night Raw results and Superstar spoilers. Also, there's going to be some Evolve wrestling results as well as another indie fed. But first, happy birthday goes to Albert. He was born in 1972. And Callisto, he was born in 1986. In this video of November the 14th. The late Big Daddy Shirley Crabtree Jr. was born November 14, 1930. Died December 2nd, 1997 at the age of 67. Nick Bockwinkel died at the age of 80 on November 14, 2015. Hiroshi Tanahashi turned 40 on Sunday, November 13th. NXT trainer Sarah Amato, who worked at Cerro Del Rey, turned 36 on Sunday. Rufus R. Jones died at the age of 60 on November 13, 1983. Eddie Guerrero died at the age of 38 on November 13, 2005. Disco Inferno, a.k.a. Glenn Gilberti, turned 49 on Saturday, November 12th. Elektra, real name of Donna Adamo, turned 46 on Saturday. Lena Yada turned 38 on Saturday. Matt Capitelli turned 37 on Saturday. The late Trent Acid, a.k.a. Michael Verdi, was born on November 13, 1980, died of drug overdose at the age of 29 on June 18, 2010. Following dark matches were advertised for Raw, but did not happen. Kevin Owens versus Seth Rollins for the WWE Championship. Roman Reigns versus Rusev for the U.S. Championship. Former WCW World Heavyweight Champion Leon White, a.k.a. Vader, said on Twitter on Monday night that the doctors told him he only has 2 years to live. As heard from last week, he was recently in an auto accident, flipped his car over, and the injuries, you can see, I think I posted on my SmackDown video from last week. Well, and he also tweeted he said that he has congestive heart failure and has seen 2 different doctors, so confirming that, he wrote the following. Blaming it on his football and wrestling careers. It's Vader time. Told by 2 doctors at this time my heart is wore out from football and wrestling. I have 2 years to live. Congestive heart failure. Reality. From today's WWE Performance All Access event, there's a video link of WWE coach Sean Hayes cutting a Stone Cold promo and wishing Matt Bloom a happy birthday. That's A-Train. Tensai. For those that don't know. And following the Donald Trump related joke made by Joey Styles at an Evolve 72 over the weekend, which I will give you the results of that later on in this video. As well as Beyond Wrestling and Chikara, they have parted ways with the former WWE employee, ECW employee, Joey Styles. Beyond Wrestling posted the following on Twitter, at Beyond Wrestling, retweeted WWP, despite his unprofessional behavior, I would like to extend the professional courtesy of a phone call before making an official announcement. Minutes after that, they made the announcement, and here it is. At Beyond Wrestling, Joey Styles will no longer be appearing at Sunday's live event in Worcester or any other future Beyond Wrestling live events. Thank you. Wrestling Observer newsletter is reporting that the reason that WWE Hall of Fame and NXT TakeOver are now switching nights during WrestleMania weekend is because of WWE will be using the same arena for NXT and Hall of Fame as they are Raw. This will allow them the ability to set up the Hall of Fame on Friday, then set up for TakeOver on Saturday, and then leave the arena set for Raw on Monday. Reported that Sin Cara was ordered to undergo anger management courses for his most recent altercation with Chris Jericho last week on Raw while they were in UK. PW Insider reported that is additional to being exiled from the tour bus overseas, Sin Cara was banned from the company flights to Buffalo for this week's Raw. Sin Cara was instead forced to make a 6-hour drive by himself. Noted before that former WWE Tough Enough winner Sarah Lee and WWE NXT superstar Blake were expecting their first child together. They revealed on Instagram that they are expecting a baby girl. And you can see it on this link, Instagram.com/Sarah Ann _Lee. Noted a while back that Renee Young injured her ankle while backstage at a WWE event. She posted the following today, noting that the injury happened while doing this outtake photo shoot with U.S. champion Roman Reigns. See it in this link. Remember, and this is what she said, remember that day several months ago when I basically destroyed all the tendons in my ankle and thought I broke it? This is milliseconds before that happened. Because Superman punches and heals, ain't it? I dragged my body off set and as if nothing happened. And the results were heavy on wrestling. South St. Paul, Minnesota at SSP High School. Report by Jason Powell from ProWrestling.net. Match number 1, Wildcat defeated Rob James. A good opener with James doing a nice job of drawing heat, while Wildcat is fun, popular mass babyface. This was a fundraiser for the local wrestling team. So I didn't know what to expect from the crowd in terms of whether it would be locals or diehards. Most of the fans were familiar with Wildcat and his chant, which told me the local independent fans were out in full force. Darren Corbin beat Cody Rice. Rice performed an overweight Rick Rude type of stick. I was actually hoping he'd take the mic and tell all the tone in shape Minnesota muscleheads to keep the noise down while he showed their ladies what a real man looks like. Cooter Bocephus pinned Sean DeVary. The fans cheered for DeVary, who used some mic work to turn them against him. Bocephus came out with an American flag and got the fans chanting USA. Bocephus won by sticking a rubber chicken up DeVary's butt, making him smell chicken, and then rolling him up. No, I'm not kidding. Just when I thought I've seen every finish, and the tights stayed on. So unfortunately, there was no actual penetration. Match number 4, Area DeVary beat Beer City Bruiser to retain the WrestlePalooza title. Area also had to work to turn the crowd against him. He cut a good promo about how he busted his butt for years on the independent scene, and now that he's in the WWE Cruiserweight division, the fans want to get on the bandwagon. Bruiser told him that SmackDown is better than Raw and said Vince McMahon could kiss his butt. The fans got behind Bruiser with the SmackDown is better chance. Funny, DeVary won after a ref bump by Rob Page. While they were able to get the fans to root against DeVary, I couldn't help but think it would have been better to let the fans cheer for the hometown boy make good, especially since Bruiser easily could have turned the fans against him simply by playing up his Milwaukee roots. Sure, it may have been a little odd with Sean playing the heel in the previous match, but I don't think anyone would have minded. Hey, WWE, how about Area as a babyface, feuding with his heel brother in 205 Live? Only from the reporter. Eric Cannon defeated Silas Young. A good match with always popular Cannon getting the win. It's been a while since I've seen Cannon and didn't even recognize him with his hair and hipster beard. As Young described it, Cannon asked for a handshake afterwards. Silas obliged. They then attacked him and left him lying because that's what real men does. A real man does. Young is always a blast. And he also has some great merchandise. Match number 6, Cody Rhodes pinned Colt Cabana. A great atmosphere for the main event, with Colt getting a really good reaction and Cody getting an even better reaction. The live crowd loved these guys. It was really good back and forth and flurry to start, which drew applause from the fans. There was some comedy with referee Page, who made a miraculous recovery from his bump 2 matches earlier. Sparing referee Jay Soltis from working back-to-back matches. In fact, Page's healing powers are so strong that he was able to execute a terrible cartwheel at the prompting of Cabana. Colt also removed Page's glasses, put them on, and then missed Cody by a mile with 2 kicks. He took off the glasses and told Page that he's blind. Fun stuff. Cody got the win after the second crossroads of the match. Cody and Colt shook hands and played to the crowd afterwards. Colt left the ring to give Cody a chance to shine. Solo, Cody knelt and then kissed the ring. Cody and Colt are 2 pros and had the fans with them every step of the way. This was their first time working against one another, and it was a treat to see them in person. Notes from the reporter, Baron von Raschke was present and signed autographs at one of the merchandise tables. Minnesota's ambassador of independent wrestling, Mick Karch, was the timekeeper. Future WWE champion Freddie Kenny was in the house along with his father, Hater Dave. Attendance appeared to be about 400 people. How was the same group that promoted the Jerry Lynn retirement show. I've been impressed by each show I've attended. The show was listed for a 6 o'clock start time. It actually started at 7 o'clock instead. It worked out nicely. Though as the merchandise table seemed to be going well, and there was no mid-show intermission, so the main event ended around 9 p.m. Overall, a good time and a well-paced show. It's good to see the Minnesota independent scene has a passionate group of followers. Evolve 72 results from Queens, New York at La Boom. Report by .net readers, Shinblade, or on Twitter, a sensational one. Tommy N defeated Tony Nese in a dark match. After the match, chants of "Thank you, Tommy" filled the room, as it was one of Tommy N's final independent matches, as he was recently signed by WWE. Match number 1, Matthew Riddle over Dustin in a grudge match. Fred Yehi defeated Jason Kincaid by submission. Standing ovation for Kincaid after the match. Chris Dickinson and Daka defeated Darby Allin and Tony Nese. All ego of Ethan Page over Zack Sabre Jr. After the match, Ethan Page issued a challenge to Cody Rhodes. Hot Sauce Tracy Williams defeated Chris Hero by submission. Timothy Thatcher with Stokely Hathaway defeated Drew Gulak in a square circle survival, no ropes match to retain the Evolve Championship. After the match, Matt Riddle, Fred Yehi, and Tracy Williams consoled Gulak, who said, "I started Catch Point, and Catch Point is a failure." Drew Galloway came out and issued a challenge to Matt Riddle. Don't know if anything was accepted or anything, but that was the end of that event. Evolve 73 from Joe Pub, Maryland at the MCW Arena. Thanks to the results, pwponderings.com. Jocko defeated Darby Allin. Jason Kincaid over Icarus. Ethan Page over Chris Dickinson. Drew Gulak defeated Zack Sabre Jr. Chris Hero defeated Matt Riddle. Tracy Williams and Fred Yehi defeated Drew Gulak and Tony Nese. The Gatekeepers and Dustin and Chris Hero in the Four Corners elimination for the Evolve Tag Team titles. And that was the end of the results for that. And there was announced on Raw in Buffalo that Brock Lesnar will be appearing at the March 10th live event in the same city. And this is a Friday night event, so it's a house show. Lesnar will be working WrestleMania 33 next year from Orlando, but there's no word on yet who he will be wrestling. No opponent was announced for the Buffalo show, but this would be during the build for WrestleMania. Also noted, Lesnar will be wrestling Rusev at the December 3rd WWE Live event in Mexico City. Charlotte Flair said on Facebook, proud to announce Second Nature, the book I'm releasing next July with my dad at Ric Flair Nature Boy. Be sure to reserve your copy today by pre-ordering at Amazon, BNN, or IndieBound. And you go to this link for the picture. If I have the picture, I'll post it. WWE recently applied a new trademark to Earn the Day. I guess it's for some type of clothing deal that they got going on. Probably t-shirts. Raw pre-show link can be seen at this link. And WWE taped the following matches for this week's episode of Superstar. Jinder Mahal versus Darren Young, Titus O'Neil versus Curtis Axel, and the results thanks to Pat Bailey for that is Titus O'Neil defeating Curtis Axel. Jinder Mahal defeated Darren Young. Raw opened up from Buffalo with all members of the Team Raw lined up side by side on stage. Stephanie McMahon and Mick Foley are in the ring. Stephanie welcomed us, and Foley gets a cheap pop from the crowd. Stephanie praises everyone on the stage and says that they will have a chance to prove that they're the best this Sunday. Her brother Shane McMahon will be here later on in the evening, as will Daniel Bryan. It sounded like Foley called Bryan a little guy. Stephanie says the Team Raw Superstars will have a chance to prove their superiority tonight. Stephanie announces that Enzo Amore and Big Cass versus American Alpha for Survivor Series. And it's supposed to be 4 hours this year. Starting time 6 p.m. Reminder, Stephanie needs them all to work together tonight, or there will be serious changes made. Threatening them to be fired from Raw. They announced Sheamus and Cesaro versus Kevin Owens and Roman Reigns, Seth Rollins and Braun Strowman, and Chris Jericho versus the New Day in 6-man action, and Alicia Fox and Nia Jax versus Charlotte Flair and Sasha Banks. So the coming segment, Brock Lesnar and Bill Goldberg together with a face-off. Kevin Owens and Roman Reigns for your first match of the night versus Sheamus and Cesaro. Back from the break, we get Universal Champion Kevin Owens making his way out as Cesaro and Sheamus wait in the ring. Owens taunts him with the title belt. U.S. Champion Roman Reigns is out next to some booze. Reigns starts off for his team. Reigns catches Sheamus coming off the top early on. Sheamus gets closed onto the floor. Cesaro comes over the top and goes for the sharpshooter. And Cesaro swing on Reigns, but Reigns makes it to the bottom rope for the escape. Cesaro closes on Reigns to the floor. Owens comes over and they argue. Cesaro takes advantage and launches himself onto both men. Cesaro stands tall for the crowd. We go to commercial with Owens and Reigns down on the floor. More back and forth as they come back from commercial. Owens ends up sending Sheamus to the floor and tagging Reigns in while he's not looking. Reigns is confused. Sheamus pulls him to the floor and goes to work on him. Reigns sends Sheamus over the steel steps and jumps off of them with a big clothesline. Reigns with a drive-by. Reigns brings him back in the ring and works Sheamus over in the corner. Reigns then drops Sheamus with a big right. Reigns calls for the Superman punch and nails it, but Cesaro broke up the pin. Owens comes in and super kicks Cesaro. Reigns does the Superman punch on Cesaro to send him out of the ring. Reigns ready for the spear, but Owens tags himself in. Owens and Reigns argue. Sheamus with a bro kick on Owens. Reigns spears Sheamus and drags Owens on top of him for the win. After the match, we get replays of what just happened. Back to the champions raising their titles and talking trash to each other. Then we go to Michael Coleslaw, Corey Graves, and Byron Saxton at the announce table. They talk about last week's Fatal 5-Way, and we go back to Braun Strowman, Seth Rollins, and Chris Jericho. Jericho says he's the captain of tonight's squad and says they need to get rid of some of the bad vibes going around. He understands that they're mad at each other, but they need to put that behind them for tonight's match. Jericho brought them each a present and tells them to open it up. Jericho has presented them with the scarf of Jericho. He tells them to try it on. Try it on, man. Rollins compares Jericho's wardrobe to Lady Gaga's and tells him to keep the scarf. Rollins gives it back. Braun wants Jericho's scarf he's wearing. Jericho gives it to him for unity purposes. Jericho puts on Braun's scarf, but Braun rips his up, saying he doesn't like Jericho or scarves. Back from the break, as they go to commercial, back from the break, we get the WWE Network hype. And then we got Sami Zayn versus Bo Dallas. We see a video of a confrontation between the two guys from Raw pre-show. And Sami Zayn is out first, followed by Bo Dallas. Back and forth to start. Bo takes control and beats Sami down in the corner, Bo keeps control and drops some knees. He turns Sammy over and drops the big knee for a 2 count. Sammy ends up hitting the exploder suplex into the corner, and then Sammy nailed the hula kick for the win. After the match, Sammy stands tall as we get replays. Byron comes in and interviews Sammy in the ring about facing either Dolph Ziggler or The Miz. Sammy doesn't care who wins the Intercontinental title tomorrow night because he's hell-bent on bringing the title back where it belongs, to Raw. Sammy's music hit, and he makes his exit. So to come second, Survivor Series Summit with Foley, Bryan, and the McMahons. Also Jericho, Braun, and Rollins versus New Day. Back to commercial. Back from the break, Brian Kendrick gets backstage with the other cruiserweights. He talks about defending the cruiserweight title against Kalisto on Sunday and assures them he will retain, keeping the division on Raw. TJ Perkins wants his rematch, but Rich Swann says he's also due for a title shot. Sin Cara and Noam Dar also speak up against Kendrick. New Day versus Seth Rollins, Braun Strowman, and Chris Jericho is up next. We go to the ring. Out comes Raw Tag Team Champions. New Day with promos on Survivor Series. Back to commercial. Back from the commercial, Chris Jericho's out first, followed by Braun Strowman. Seth Rollins is out final to a pop. We get some arguing before the match starts, but Jericho starts with Kofi. Kofi hits an early dropkick and then an arm drag. Woods comes in, but Jericho tags in Rollins. Back and forth between Woods and Rollins. Rollins with a head scissor, more back and forth. Rollins with a shoulder tackle and a leg sweep for a 2 count. Woods responds with a sweep for a 2 count. Rollins hits a sling blade, but Woods kicks out. Jericho comes in and comes off the top on Woods. Woods gets a 2 count before Kofi comes back in. Big E was in next with a splash for another pin attempt. Big E sends Jericho over to the corner for some triple teaming. Strowman finally comes in and slams Kofi. As they go to commercial, we're back from the break. We get Strowman keeping control of Kofi. Kofi broke a hold with a jawbreaker, and in comes Rollins. Rollins hits a backbreaker, but Kofi kicks out. More back and forth until both go down. Strowman comes in and knocks Big E off the apron. Jericho ends up tagging in. Then Woods hits a DDT for a 2 count. Kofi and Big E team up to take Strowman out. Kofi gets sent over to the top, and Braun catches him, then slams him on the floor. Braun runs over Big E. Woods blocks the pedigree from Rollins, and the walls of Jericho. Woods with a 2 count on Jericho. Braun ends up tagging back in and hitting a big running power slam for the win. Which is nothing more than the Dr. Death Oklahoma Slam. After the match, Braun stood tall over Kofi, and as Jericho and Rollins come in, Braun's music plays. Braun paces around while Jericho starts arguing with Rollins. Rollins drops Jericho with a pedigree and leaves the ring as his music hits. Braun is right behind him as Jericho recovers in the ring. Still to come, Lesnar and Goldberg meet in the ring. Also the Survivor Series Summit. Back to commercial. My feed for Raw kept on going out, both on one computer as well as my own computer. All right. Stephanie and Foley are backstage, but Paul Heyman walks up, applauding them for tonight's Raw to remember. Stephanie wonders how Paul Heyman is after the recent spear from Goldberg and makes a fat joke. Heyman says Goldberg won't be facing him at Survivor Series. He will be facing Brock Lesnar. Heyman says Lesnar will be representing Raw, which is great for Stephanie because her brother is on the SmackDown side, and word around the locker room is that SmackDown team is looking good. Heyman walks off. Stephanie tells Foley to make sure the Goldberg-Lesnar match doesn't happen until Sunday. Foley calls in for extra security, which is nothing but indie fan guys. I noticed about 3 or 4 of them because I've been watching some indie fan wrestling. Then we go backstage to Sasha Banks and Charlotte. Charlotte calls Sasha immature for not getting along with the other team Raw participants. Sasha says she's not the only one, and Charlotte accuses her of being jealous ever since Hell in a Cell. Sasha mentions a rematch, and they have more words. In this segment, Sin Cara versus Brian Kendrick is up next. We go to ring. Out comes Raw Cruiserweight Champion Brian Kendrick. Back from the break, out comes Sin Cara for this non-title match. Kendrick attacks during Cara's music and poses for some heat. Kendrick then tosses Sin Cara to the floor as the referees warn him. Sin Cara recovers and comes back in the ring. The bell rings and Kendrick charges into the corner with offense. Kendrick keeps Sin Cara down and tosses him by the back of a mask. Kendrick nails some kicks with some playing to the crowd for heat. Kendrick uses bottom rope as the referee warns him again. Kendrick keeps Sin Cara grounded again. Sin Cara counters the DDT and hits an Northern Light suplex on Kendrick for a 2 count. Kendrick turns it right back around and chokes Sin Cara on the middle rope. Sin Cara fights back, but Sin Cara dumps him over the top rope. Sin Cara runs the ropes and nails a dive. Sin Cara brings it back in the ring and clotheslines Kendrick over the top on the other side. Then Sin Cara runs the ropes for another dive, but Kendrick knocks him out of the air into the barrier. Back to commercial. More back and forth after the break. Sin Cara ends up hitting a big shot from the top, but Kendrick kicks out of 2. Kendrick dumps Sin Cara on his head for a 2 count. Kendrick charged, but they tangle, and Sin Cara hits a tilt-the-world backbreaker for a 2 count. And Sin Cara with a set down power bomb for a 2 count. Sin Cara with more offense, but they both go down again. Cross bodies. Sin Cara hits a springboard back elbow for a 2 count. Kendrick ends up getting the win with the captain's hook. Still to come segment, Luke Gallows, Carl Anderson, Enzo Amore, Big Cass versus the Shining Stars, Goldust, R-Truth. We go backstage and we get Enzo and Cass. The club walks up and they taunt each other. Gallows tells them to drop the lame comedy act tonight. Cass hasn't forgot what they said last week about stabbing anyone in the back. Cass says they will team with them tonight in a Survivor Series, but they're dumber than they look if they think Enzo and Cass will trust them. We see Foley talking to security for tonight's Goldberg Lesnar face-off. Back to commercial. Back from the break, we get security already lined up in the ring. We get from one corner to the other, separating the ring. So Brock Lesnar made his way out to a pop. He got on one corner. Paul Heyman was behind him. As his power goes off, Brock slips a bit, jumping on the apron. But he saved it and enters. He pushes up some of the security out of the way, and he paces around the ring. It looks like a line of security will be in between both men for this segment. Fans start chanting Goldberg, which Goldberg's music comes out, then comes out to a pop. Goldberg chants continue, and they're loud. Heyman takes the mic and introduces himself, but Goldberg cuts him off and says, "This has nothing to do with Heyman. It's about he and Brock." Heyman goes on, but Goldberg tells him to shut up and get the Rent-A-Cops out of the ring so the only 2 real men in the ring can get it on. The chants continue as Heyman and Lesnar pace around. Heyman goes to start his intro over, but Goldberg yells at him to shut up. Heyman continues anyways as fans boo. Heyman says security is here for Goldberg's protection. The chants continue, causing Heyman to restart an intro. Heyman goes on and brings up the Undertaker streak ending and Lesnar beating John Cena. Goldberg tells him to shut his mouth. Goldberg says that there's a long list of people Lesnar has conquered, but he's not on it. And that turns Brock's little butt every time he thinks about it. Goldberg brings up what Lesnar said about his family last week and tells them to shove it. Heyman cuts him off and goes off about Goldberg disrespecting Lesnar. Goldberg says the next time Heyman mentions his family, he's going to rip Heyman's head off and feed it to Lesnar. The crowd pops and chants for Goldberg again. Heyman apologizes for raising his voice, saying it was unprofessional. Heyman brings up the fantasy warfare just got real tagline for Survivor Series. He says that the superhero idea Goldberg has in his head is fantasy, but Lesnar is very real, like the beating he's going to suffer this Sunday. Heyman has an offer he wants Goldberg to consider. The chance for Goldberg shot up again, and Heyman yells at the crowd to shut the hell up. Heyman says the crowd is pissing him off, his beast. Heyman offers to find Goldberg a replacement for Sunday and says maybe Goldberg can buy his son a WWE Network gift card to watch Lesnar do his thing. Goldberg takes off his shirt and he's ready to fight. Heyman says Goldberg is getting just a little too agitated in front of his beast. Heyman says Goldberg shall be beaten, victimized, and conquered by Lesnar on this Sunday. It looks like Lesnar shoves a guard or two Goldberg's way, but they just hit the mat. Heyman goes on with a promo that says Goldberg will be beaten up so unrecognizable that his son will call Lesnar Daddy. Lesnar starts taking out security guards. Lesnar watches from the apron, and Heyman is at ringside. The final guards leave the ring. Goldberg motions for Lesnar to come in. Lesnar takes off his shirt and puts one foot in the ring, but backs out and hops off the ring apron. Fans boo. Goldberg chants start back up again, and Heyman and Lesnar leave as Goldberg's music hits and he poses for the fans. Another still to come segment, Alicia Fox and Nia Jax versus Charlotte and Sasha Banks. Back to commercial, and the match is up next. Nia Jax and Alicia Fox versus Sasha Banks and Charlotte. Sasha and Raw Women's Champion Charlotte were out first, followed by Nia Jax and Alicia Fox. Stalling to start, but Charlotte finally locks up with Nia. They break and collide in the middle of the ring, but no one goes down. Nia floors Charlotte. Sasha tags in and puts up a fight, but we go to commercial with Nia and Alicia in control. Back from the break, Sasha is in control of Alicia. Bayley has been on commentary for this match. Dana Brooke was ringside. Sasha drop kicked Alicia. Charlotte tags herself in, and Sasha isn't happy. They start shoving each other, and Sasha pushes Charlotte to the mat. Charlotte charges, and Sasha decks her. They trade shots now, and both women go down. Alicia then tags in Nia. Nia runs over Charlotte with a clothesline and catches Sasha. Sasha avoids a Samoan drop and drops Nia over the top. Charlotte hits a big boot on Nia. Sasha tags back in. They argue again and shove each other. Alicia nails a crossbody from the top. Sasha with a bank statement on Alicia, while Charlotte kicks Nia out of the ring. And Alicia taps for the win. Bank statement for the win. After the match, Bayley hits the ring, raises both Charlotte and Sasha's hands. But they're still not happy with each other. She hugs Sasha, but Charlotte walks away from the ring. And away from the hug. Still to come segment, Survivor Series Summit. Foley is backstage with 5 superstars from Team Raw. They did what they knew they could do tonight. Win matches without being friends. Foley thanks them and mentions the Survivor Series Summit in the ring later. He asked them to stick around for the fireworks show. Back to commercial. Back from the break, we get Vignette for Emma's return as Emmalina. Enzo, Big Cass, Luke Gallows, and Carl Anderson versus Goldust, R-Truth, Primo, and Epico. We go to the ring, out comes Enzo and Big Cass. They do it over second. Stitch got cut off against their partners tonight because at the end of the promo was interrupted by music as Luke Gallows and Carl Anderson come out. Shining Stars are out next, followed by Golden Truth. Enzo starts off with Primo and takes control. Cass comes in to keep up the control. Primo is then tossed to the floor. Epico comes in, but he gets sent out. This brings the other two teams in, and we go to commercial with Gold and Truth facing off with Enzo and Big Cass. More action after the break. Goldust and R-Truth went against the Shining Stars at one point. The finish sees the club hit the Magic Killer on Primo. Then they look to be on the same page as Enzo and Cass. As they tag in Enzo and hype him for the big top rope finisher. They keep hyping him, but Gallows steals the pin instead. Which is nothing but kind of like a spine buster. And they delivered the Magic Killer. And what have it. But their team won. Big Cass, Amore, Luke Gallows, and Carl Anderson. After the break, Club laughed and made their exit. Back for the break, after the commercial break, Stephanie McMahon in the ring with Mick Foley for the Survivor Series Summit. SmackDown Shane McMahon and Daniel Bryan were out next. Shane and Bryan hyped SmackDown 900 for Tuesday night. And the two sides have a back and forth. Go back and forth over Survivor Series until Stephanie introduces their team. U.S. Champion Roman Reigns. The Universal Champion Kevin Owens. Chris Jericho, Seth Rollins, and Braun Strowman. Foley and Stephanie leave the ring as they are surrounded. They surround Bryan and Shane. Bryan says that they didn't come alone as fan chant for AJ Styles, who comes to the crowd. The World Heavyweight Champion makes his way through the crowd. We see also Randy Orton coming to the crowd, Bray Wyatt, Dean Ambrose, and mascot James Ellsworth coming through the crowd as well. Two teams face off in the ring now. Owens welcomes them to the Kevin Owens Show and knocks Styles. Owens says that the WWE World Title means nothing on this show. AJ gets a pop for saying Owens is still stuck on Jericho's teeth. I think he actually said sugar tits. That's what it was called. And you probably could do a hashtag sugar tits on there. When he did that, Jericho actually did the sugar tits. Okay, and that was that. And that leads to Jericho putting AJ and his stupid soccer mom hair on the list. Jericho asks, what the hell is that? And points at Ellsworth. Fan chat for Ellsworth now. Jericho calls him a weird looking guy and puts him on the list. Wyatt takes the mic and then addresses Braun, saying he was abandoned, but will destroy Braun on Sunday. Orton steps up in Braun's face. Rollins brings up how there's no telling what he and Reigns are capable of when they're on the same page. Ambrose steps up, but instead of speaking, he strikes and starts a big brawl. Strowman destroys Shane in the corner. Then goes AJ. Ambrose gets slammed by Strowman. Stephanie and Foley watch from ringside. Braun splashes Shane in the corner again. Sting style splash. Ambrose and AJ double team Braun now. Shane joins in and clotheslines Braun to the floor, but tumbles with him. Ambrose sends Rollins out with him. Ambrose runs and nails a dive on Rollins. Styles and Jericho go at it. Jericho drop kicks AJ to the floor. Jericho turns around to an RKO from Orton. Reigns with a Superman punch on Orton to booze. Wyatt with a Sister Abigail attempt on Reigns, but Reigns nails a Superman punch instead. Reigns stands tall as fans boo. He runs the ropes for a dive, but AJ runs in and decks him. Rollins stops a Styles clash and plants AJ with a pedigree. Rollins and Reigns stand tall as Stephanie screams about unity. Rollins grabs AJ and hoists him up for a Shield-style powerbomb. Reigns launches AJ out of the ring onto the rest of the Team SmackDown. Team Raw stands in the ring with Foley and Stephanie as Reigns' music hits. Team SmackDown recovers on the ramp. Owens tosses AJ's title out of the ring and raises his own title in the corner. Raw goes off the air with both teams yelling at each other. And there was no dark match main event after Raw. And just Team Raw and SmackDown left and JoJo take the crowd to end the show. And that concludes my results video from Raw and spoilers for Superstars. Thanks again. Peace out. See you want to be. If you don't know, just comment, brothers and sisters.